Our next speaker was chosen by the class of 2011 to share the faculty message. Would you please welcome Mr. David Nord.
Dr. Peterson, distinguished guests, grandparents, parents, family, friends, to my esteemed colleagues, it is a true honor and privilege to represent the faculty of Eastview High School at this 2011 graduation. I cry when I watch television. Yes, tonight, I admit I am a 57-year-old male TV crier. Comedies, dramas, reality, even game shows bring tears to my eyes. During the royal wedding, I was an emotional, tearful wreck. When I saw Kate's wedding dress for the first time, I wept uncontrollably. I'm not sure why I cry. My son says it's because I'm really old. My daughter believes that I'm finally getting in touch with my feminine side. My wife just shakes her head and makes sure there are 2 Kleenex boxes and a beach towel next to the couch. Wikipedia, the source of all knowledge in the universe, states that I may be going through stage 4 of menopause. Just recently, it is not just TV shows that get me so emotional. Now I'm starting to tear up during commercials. There is one particular commercial shown late at night that touches my heart. The ad starts with an elderly man sitting in a rocking chair. He slowly raises his arm to look at his watch. You hear the ticking of the watch as the hour hand begins to spin around rapidly. Images of the man's entire life appear on the face of the watch. Among the pictures are people that seem to be very important to this man. At the end of the commercial, you see the elderly man smiling as the pictures fade and the watch stops. On the television screen, these words appear: "Every second is precious when you are with the ones you love." To the class of 2011, your clock is ticking. As you look back at the images of your life, how many will include those people most important to you? 3 weeks ago, in my modern world history class, we were discussing the catastrophic events that had occurred in Japan. Our discussions gravitated to what things are really significant in life. As an activity, I asked my students to take out their cell phones. I then asked them if any of the 36 students had a picture of their parents stored on their phone. There was an awkward laughter, a quick look through hundreds of images, and then silence. No one had such a picture. I was about to make a wise, life-changing comment when a student in the back of the room raised her hand. "Mr. Nord, are your parents still alive?" My response was no. She then asked, "Do you have a picture of them displayed in your home?" I dropped my head. Again, the answer was no. We all sat in my room that day embarrassed and filled with guilt. In the living room at my parents' home, on the largest wall, hanging by a single nail, was my high school graduation picture. The picture was taken by my mother. She was very proud of that picture. Guests who visited our home and saw the picture would begin to laugh out loud. You see, my mother had trouble centering her pictures. So in the picture, I'm off to the left in my cap and gown. Smack dab in the middle of the picture rests our old rusted garbage can. The funny thing about the graduation picture is my mom never noticed the garbage can, only her son. I believe the parents who are here tonight are like my mom. Their spotlight is only on you. They pointed at you when you entered the stadium. They are staring at you right now. Their focus and their affection is only on you. Their hearts will rise with pride when a diploma is placed in your hand because they are so very proud of you. They will wait patiently while you throw your caps in the air and search out your friends. When it is their time, the tears will flow, the hugs will last a little longer and be a little tighter, for their little girl or their little boy has grown up. This is a very hard evening for them. As your life changes, so does theirs. Graduates, let them know tonight how important they have been to you. And please, please, borrow their camera and take a picture of them. And place it somewhere special, because you know deep down in your heart, without your parents, this night, this celebration would not be possible. It is time to show them your appreciation and your love for everything they have done for you. Class of 2011, your clock is ticking. How many of your life images will include your parents? During the past year, my responsibility during third hour was West Door supervision. I thoroughly enjoyed this duty because I could watch much of Eastview walk by. Third quarter was my favorite. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I had the opportunity to observe an Eastview senior pick up her little friends for child psychology's play school. This senior was always excited to greet her small friends with a gigantic smile and hug. She would carry one in her arms and hold hands with the other. You could tell through the children's laughter and how they held on to her so tightly that they very much loved this senior. Thankfully, these two small children will never know how close they came to never meeting this very special young lady. One of the highlights of this year for me personally is to be able to say at this 2011 graduation, Jillian Sireney, I'm so very thankful that you are here to celebrate with us tonight. For those in the audience who don't know, Jillian was involved in a horrible car accident. She was ejected from the car and suffered multiple life-threatening body and head injuries. For several weeks, Eastview held its breath, hoping for the best and fearing the worst. Jillian's miraculous recovery reaffirms how every tick of the clock is precious. Jillian's friends had a chance to lend support and care. They also had an opportunity to let Jillian know how much they love her and how important she is in their lives. 2 months ago, my wife's heart began accelerating at a very rapid rate. She was scared. I was terrified. After meeting with a heart specialist, it was decided that she needed surgery. As I sat in the waiting room, looking up at the clock, I was filled with shame. I realized that I had been taking my best friend for granted. When your caps hit the ground, your friends will be the first people you seek out. There will be huge smiles mixed with tears. Promise me tonight that you will let your friends know the difference that they have made in your life. Class of 2011, your clock is ticking. When you look back and remember your high school friends, will there be any regrets? Some of you graduates are sitting back right now and thinking, my parents, friends, they'll be around. I have a lot of time. I'll make sure I let them know tomorrow, or maybe next week. Many years ago, I had an Eastview freshman named Josh in my English class. There are 3 things that you need to know about Josh. 1, he was hearing impaired, so he wore 2 amplified hearing aids and I wore a powered microphone. 2, he was an incredible young man who was very smart. And 3, his goal from day 1 was to torture me for 4 long years. It didn't take Josh long to realize that I wore sweaters to class every day. Soon dozens of the ugliest sweaters appeared on my desk. And there was always a note. These sweaters would look good on you, Mr. Nord. You definitely can't look any worse. The battle had begun. Josh had a tendency to occasionally sleep in my class. So when I was sure that he was fast asleep, I would click the off-on button back and forth on my microphone and watch his head spring up off the desk, drool flying all over. He would give me a smirk. I would just smile. Revenge is so sweet. Halfway through his freshman year, he began calling me Cardigan. During a huge mythology test, I snuck out of the room, slowly turned on my microphone, and whispered, "Josh, this is the almighty Zeus. The answer to number 12 is C." I could hear his laughter through the walls. The battle of wits continued through Josh's senior year, and it was so much fun. One day in May, I had a really bad day in most of my classes. I was crabby, cranky, and frustrated. I began straightening my desk, getting ready to go home. When I turned around, all my desks were in disarray, and there was Josh smiling. I told him, "Not today." But Josh continued to mess up my room. I pointed to the door, "Go." He laughed. Angrily, I replied in a loud voice so he could hear, "I mean it, Josh, leave now." His huge smile disappeared. He dropped his head, and I could hear him softly say, "Sorry, Mr. Nord, I won't bother you anymore." It had been 3.5 years since Josh had called me by my last name. 2 weeks later, Josh went to bed, and he never woke up. I would do anything to take back that moment in my classroom. All Josh wanted was a few minutes of my time, and I was not there for him. I desperately hope that he did not hate me when he passed away. That day and Josh's death will haunt me for the rest of my life. I waited too long. Josh's life ended before I could say I was sorry. Make my mistake a lesson to all of you. Graduates, tonight during this celebration, the most important people, those who have helped you get to this point in your life, are here in this stadium. Let them know now how important they are to you. Class of 2011, your clock is ticking, and there is no way to turn back time. Every Eastview High School teacher has special memories of this class. As I look back at the class of 2011, these are just some of the hundreds of images that I will always fondly remember. The artistry of Brianne Price on the soccer field, Mimi Jackson's tears when talking about Team Tribolt, supportive emails from Amber Younger and Austin McCutcheon, how incredibly hard Ashley Murtha can hit a volleyball. Shaking hands with Michael Coombs every day, Eric Rosvold and Ann Ferguson running down Johnny Craig Road as I drive home, the beautiful singing voices of Tessa Bertel and Madison Groves, knowing that you taught Damian Ramsammy's mother and Nick Lane's father in high school and feeling very old. Frank Veldman, one of the finest high school athletes I have ever seen compete. Teacher Appreciation Days with Heidi Solomon, Kelly Meyer, Caitlin Lindner, Jake Ulrich, and Taylor Brandstad. It was a true honor. How much Cameron Cropsey is a role model to my 9th grade students. Watching Renee Dahlberg, Shannon Deutsch, Kate Harp, Jillian Kurtz, Katie Matthews, Mackenzie Morrissey, Caitlin Perky, and Mel Thone move lunch tables and chairs every day before practice, wondering if other state champions have to do the same. Alex Stevenson scoring a varsity hockey goal months after severely breaking his leg. Alicia Erickson and Sam Dibble, my favorite holiday employees. Watching Khalil Jordan turn in 8 modern world history textbooks, none of them his. The huge smile and energy of Mart Plowman, Eric Liggett's determination to win, Diana Salas and Erica Ziegler trying to convince me to eat Red Hot Cheetos, not gonna happen. The enthusiasm of the Eddy twins cheering for the Lightning, AJ Spann walking into my room during a lecture to offer me a cinnamon roll. Talking part-time jobs with Justin Vandenbosch, the extraordinary talent of Sarah Cartwright. Teasing Anthony Metz as he zooms down the hallway in an ugly Iowa t-shirt. How much Joel Jacobson loves Eastview High School. A three-pointer by Alex Beckman, Jenna Doctor driving to the hoop for a layup. Sadness watching Amanda Beckman sitting on the sidelines. This ridiculous Remember Me dinosaur from Hannah Eide, Tyler Boyer, Diego Perez, and Molly DeZekin. This thing gives me nightmares. And Emily Snodgrass Slapshot. Brittany Schlegel, one of the funniest students I've ever met. Thomas Gerald, John LeClaire, Danny Glad, Leslie Calderon, Molly Day, Jack Lesh, Aaron Guyan, Tyler Arndt, Logan Hasted, Osari Arnett, Lucas Allen, Kevin Mann, Craig Seitzer, Brooke Hill, Michael Trin, Ashley Pearson, Marcus Shaw, and Connor Smart. Seniors who went out of their way to greet me in the hallways and who made me feel so special. Hunter Abramson, Nick Sin, Troy Beckman, Jordan Whiff, Joe Nelson. You always made me laugh on Thursdays. Veronica Elling, designing the Lord Nord t-shirts, my most cherished gift in 33 years of teaching. An Alec Canope fastball, a Matt Galloway diving catch, a David Berry double, a Matt Larson towering home run. A Sam King sacrifice bunt, Sophie Williams throwing a runner out at first. Max Tilke draining a 15-foot putt. Kayla Sauvé, who was instrumental in creating an extraordinary yearbook filled with memories that will last a lifetime. This class entering Lightning Stadium on this beautiful evening. The touching and inspirational words of Brittany Stumpf. Seniors in the choir tearing up as Judy Sagan conducts her final song at Eastview High School. Knowing my final high school graduation is almost over. After 33 years of teaching, it has been an honor and privilege taking my final journey with you. For the past 4 years, I have felt the warmth and love that has made this class so special. You have touched my heart in so many wonderful ways. This night will be one of the highlights of my life. They always tell you as a teacher that you should not have favored students. They never said anything about a favored class. Like the commercial with the elderly man and his magical watch, I hope when you reminisce about your years at Eastview High School, you will cherish this quote from the beloved Dr. Seuss. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. To the class of 2011, congratulations.
I think I'm going to join the Mr. Nord Crying Club.